What's going on, folk? In this video, I don't know how it happened, but we're doing 3 Honda Civics all over again. I don't even know what to say about that. But we're gonna go in order from least extensive work to most extensive work. So stick around, check it out, and after the intro, you already know.
DJ. The tables turned really back one time. Okay. Tony touch.
It's so tremendous.
Tony Todd. Yo, I be the mic smoker.
Fuck that.
Special technique of
God
shadow
damn.
boxing.
The jizzle.
God damn.
Just pledge allegiance to the hip hop.
Johnny Blaze.
I pledge allegiance to the hip hop. I breaks it down to the bone gristle. Ill speaking, scud missile, heat seeking. Johnny blazing, nightmares like Wes Craven. Niggas gunning, my third eye seen it coming before it happened. You know about them fucking statin kids, they smashing everything, in any shape, form, or fashion. Now everybody talking about they blasting. Is you busting still or is you flashing? Talking out your asshole. You should've learned about the flowing PZ Afro. Italian stallion, chinky eye and snot nose. From my naps to the bunion on my big toe, I keeps it moving. Know just what the fuck I'm doing. Rap insomniac, fiend to catch a nigga snoozing. Slip the cardiac, arrest me. Exorcist hip hop possess me. Crunch a nigga like a Nestle. You know my stage, burning to a 3rd degree. Sneaky ass alley cat, top pedigree. The head toucher, industry party bum rusher. You don't like it, dick up in your fuck ya.
Alright, folk, let me holler at you about watch my language. Just kidding. So let's holler about the red car, right? We're gonna call this the GSR car because it's a GSR swap in this car. Now, okay, I'm gonna tell you a secret at the end of this video. Not a secret at the end of the video. Something like that. Anyways, so this car, this motor, I got the car for this motor. If you watch my channel, you already know that, but if you don't know that, I have a silver Honda Civic, which is my daily driver. It's a hatchback, and I have multiple right now, too many. Also, if you're not a viewer of my channel or a regular, this is a future waffle car, so stick around for some more video on this here shortly. But let's get back into this thing, let's shout it. Anyways, so what do we got? What we had got right here is fint to be is this motor runs really good, works generally well, but the VTEC doesn't work for shit. And I've been trying to figure out why it doesn't work. And the common thing with these engines, as I found out from my homie, is that the lost motion assemblies tend to go out in these motors, and that's usually a cause for VTEC not working, etc., etc. But before I want to just start ordering random parts, the lost motion assemblies are 110 bucks, or not that much money, but I want to make sure that my issue is caused from the lost motion assemblies, right? So basically, to make a long story short, the lost motion assembly really is just this little valve, not a valve, a spring with like a little oil pressure squirter type thing in there. I forget what you call this shit, you know what I'm saying? And it just puts tension on the VTEC cam lobe, the VTEC rockers, so that way make sure the pin's engaged for the VTEC. I had a sneaking suspicion that that might not be the case with the motor, even though they don't work like they're supposed to, but I need to do a couple tests to confirm that. So, what do? We took this oil pressure gauge, bam, shouty, you know what I'm saying? And I did an oil pressure sensor adapter, which is that shiny gold shit right back in here. Can you see that thing? Yeah. So we did this adapter. So I bought, let me phrase that. Where's the, so factory, this is your oil pressure sensor from the factory, but this doesn't give you oil pressure that you can read. This just lets you know, hey, you have it, hey, you don't have it, right? On off switch. Well, I mean, I'm sure someone probably figured out a way to like make this usable, but as far as I understand, this is an on-off switch. Yes, oil pressure, not enough oil pressure. That's it. With the oil pressure gauge, I can actually see how much oil pressure I'm getting from the bottom. Now, this is important because VTEC works off of oil pressure. And also, if you watched a few videos ago, you'll know that I took the 2050 weight oil out of my silver Civic and put it in this motor. The oil's still good. And then I want to just buy fresh oil and I'm about to dump it all right back out anyway. So I took 2050 weight oil and put it in this motor, which definitely helped it some, but it still isn't everything I could ask for. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's two places to check oil pressure. One is in that back block location, and then two, to see if your VTEC solenoid has oil pressure to the head properly, you can check the oil pressure here via this oil pressure unit here, but finding a fitting for this to one of those is rather difficult. So not to say you can't find it, but you know, it took me a week to find this fitting, and technically this fitting isn't 100% correct. So in the video, you watch me turn it on and run it, and off camera, the most I got it to do was about 40 pounds of oil pressure. And that's revving it up and like doing all kind of stuff. Now, if you don't know about oil, if you're running 2050 weight oil, which is extremely heavy oil, 40 pounds of oil pressure is like nothing. Like idle should be damn near 80. You know what I mean? Like idle should be really, really high. And then when you rev it up further, you should have tons of oil pressure because you got thick syrup running through the veins of the motor, right? This engine had like 530 motor oil in it, something like that, 1030. And it's just like one of those things where I'm just sitting here like thinking about it. I'm like, man, I don't think that this is right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, my concern is that a couple things. Either maybe the oil pump's going out, or at some point when the oil pan gasket might have been redone, they might have used a bunch of silicone. It could have gotten the pickup of the oil and clogged it, and that's why it doesn't have the oil pressure it's supposed to have. And I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that since the oil pan has been smashed at one point, maybe the sump for the pickup got broken and is pulling in air, and that's the reason why it's not pulling in the proper amount of oil that it should, hence cavitating the oil pump and not lubricating the engine for VTEC and everything else like it should be. That's why I wanted to check the block pressure first, because if the block pressure isn't where it's supposed to be, then I know that the rest of this isn't getting what it's supposed to be. Now, to be fair, the fitting did leak when I did this test, but even though the fitting leaked, it's not like it's spraying fluid. It's like just a constant drip, you know what I mean? So yes, I understand I may not have the correct reading on the oil pressure gauge. Plus, I bought this gauge back in like 04, but this was a 100% functioning gauge until I removed it. And this actually used to be on my silver Civic. I mean, my blue Civic, my very first car, until I turbocharged it. When I turbocharged the car, I used that fitting in the block to run an oil feed line. So that's kind of what I went with that, you know what I mean? One of those things where, I don't know, that's kind of how it worked out. So, could the gauge be old and bad? Potentially, you know what I mean? But what I do know is that there's noise in the head, and these are all contributing factors. So I decided that what I'm gonna do is buy a new pickup, new gaskets, new oil pump, and lost motion assemblies. I'm gonna clear the three things that it's gonna need in order to run essentially 100%. Problem is a factory OEM Honda oil pump is like $460 or $480, a little bit pricey. So I'm gonna try to find an alternative that's not so expensive, that's still very high quality for a lot less price, you know what I mean? So when this motor comes out, it's gonna get fully resealed. I have a new clutch, new flywheel, all new seals, gaskets. I got it, you name it, it's here, boom, you know what I'm saying? So we're not doing that right now, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna move on to the next car, which is actually the Waffle Civic. So hold me down, shorty.
How long it take? I ain't got no money if I move away. My life's based upon what I'ma do today. Why I can't move away? Just saluting me without the scrutiny. Niggas screwing me, 2 and 3 truancies. 4 shots, 1 2 G, 1 eulogy. My mother and girl is smothered in pearls. When a nigga under the world. When I was 11, got the toolie dick. Uncle pulled me to the side and he schooled me quick. Told me some gooey shit. I can't get paid in the earth this big. You worthless, kid. Nigga don't deserve to live. Go and get it, motherfucker, if you murder kids. Bottle up hypochondriacs, preservatives. We got hit up that same night. But ever since, my dough, my flow, and my whole game been tight. Buns and pearls, your tongue will twirl. Look at here, booger beer, I have you up in hooker gear. I swear, I was doing Lex pursuing. Niggas be wild like Western Union, short like next to you. Repent from truant, only set was ruined, but phony checks are fluent. Listen, hear me out. I'm from a cocaine block with some plainclothes cops, and the sun don't rise, but the rain don't stop. The pain don't stop, but my brain don't stop. With no lockouts, the game don't stop. Every month you change your locks, change your spot. Get a little smart, wanna change your tops, rearrange your rocks. Look, game your friends money. Yeah, Benz arrange money. Have a Benz arrange money. But if I get knocked, I ain't got no bail. But I come home on the weekends, Pablo jail. See, I came a long way, that's living the wrong way. That's sniffing a Ponye, that's sipping on Cognac. Hey, you wanna be a star, you have your own day. Where they play ball, drink, and get a buzz. Reminiscing, what a good kid he was. I don't know what happened, all he did was what he loved. That's when you opposing me, killer get the rosary. Fuck this rap shit, I die for mine, motherfucker.
I feel like I'm losing weight. Why I ain't got no money if I'm moving weight? My life based upon what I'ma do today. Why I can't move away? Just looting me without the scrutiny. Niggas screwing me, 2 and 3, truant C's. 4 shots, 1 toolie G, 1 eulogy. Make sure my mother and girls smothered in pearls. When a nigga under the world, never around y'all. It's going down, y'all. Murder rap, clown niggas back down, no. Straight like that, ya niggas fuck around, yo. Bandana P, blow thirds, the fourth, take you up off for stuck shit. I keep a beamed out fifth, as you fiend out, nigga, catch a clean bullet. I live the streets life, you heard? Guns, money, and birds, get dead armed, you dead on your jewels and work. You out your place, talking to the wrong style done. Capital P, I know what's the outcome. Could bout some, but rather pull out the stout guns. Don't let your mouth get you in shit your legs run from. For all the killers in $100 hoes. For real bitches, check me out though. We be the most ill, more drama than Denzel. More lava than the park fighting Sonny Carson. Me and Killer Cam live at the Carbon. It's crazy, bitches throwing they pussy. Niggas flash raisins,
Why I
crazy.
feel like I'm losing weight. Why I ain't got no money if I'm moving weight. My life's based upon what I'ma do today. Why I can't move away. Just looting me without the scrutiny. Niggas screwing me, 2 and 3 truant C's. 4 shots, 1 toolie G, 1 eulogy. Make sure my mother and girl is smothered in pearls. When a nigga under the world. Why I feel like I'm losing weight. Why I ain't got no money if I'm moving weight. My life's based upon what I'ma do today. Why I can't move away. Just looting me without the scrutiny. Niggas screwing me, 2 and 3 truant C's. 4 shots, 1 toolie G, 1 eulogy. Make sure my mother and girl is smothered in pearls. When a nigga under the world.
Alright, folks, hopefully you can hear your boy. That's me. I got the fan going right now, so it's ridiculously hot, typical Florida. Plus this building is extremely hot, no insulation, no nothing, just all steel. And it's like an oven in here, you know what I'm saying? So, and the doors aren't fully open, which helps a little bit, but you know, whatever. Fan helps the most, right? So, check me out. The waffle car is the car you guys are gonna participate in And right now she doesn't look like much, but she gonna look like something when she's done, right? Okay, boom, shorty, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, check me out. So this car, I had a little strange problem where for some reason, out of nowhere, the starter went out on its own, and I said, okay. I replaced the starter, and then I was having ignition issues afterwards, which didn't make any sense because the car was getting power, no power, power, no power, which led me to, as you saw in the video, change the starter, of course, because I had to change that. But you saw me take down all the plastics, pull out all the ignition out of here. I did a bunch of tests. I was looking online and I was trying to find out anything that I could find on, you know, the wiring, what powers what triggers what, because it was strange because I kept turning the key and I wasn't getting like the inside lights coming on. Sometimes I was, every once in a blue moon. The radio would come on, but it was finicky how it was coming on, which made no sense to me. So, and of course, I ended up stealing the ignition system out of this car to test this one. I didn't want to do that to this car, but technically this car's future is full race car, so technically it doesn't matter, but at the same time, we're not there yet, and I don't want to keep stripping this car apart. So, you know, when you start taking cars apart and then you stop remembering where you put all the bolts and the hardware and the wiring and the this and the that, and the next thing you know, the car's down for 30 years and you're just like, oh, I'll get to it one day. I don't want to do that to that car like that. So anyways, back to where we at right here though, you know what I'm saying? So during this process, right, when I did the starter, everything in the car was working prior. I went to the store, got a new starter, put it in there, fired it up, and it made a horrendous noise because I think the flywheel was touching the starter. Bunch of crazy shit. Turns out they gave me the wrong starter. It was for an automatic, not a manual. And I'm just like, you know, of course, you know, you gotta wait more time, more days. And I had to pay even extra money more on top just to get the correct starter because it was like $50 more. So I paid $200 for the starter, which is wild, by the way. At least it has a lifetime warranty, supposedly. So, you know, great, I guess, but still way too expensive for a starter. Absolutely ridiculous. Especially for a reman starter where you have to turn a core back in. Anyways, we're not here. So, in like a previous video, I was doing the starter stuff. And this one, I wrapped up the starter, put it back in. Now, there's a starter cable that goes from the battery literally straight to the starter, right? And then this other cable goes from the battery to the box. Now this is what supplies 12 volts to everything that's this point back here, right? I mean, to everything really, but that's an important wire. Now here's the thing that's weird. I didn't notice any issue with this wire whatsoever. And when I tested 12 volts here, I got 12 volts on the box too. There's a couple of spots I tested in the box. So I was very confused as to why I was having troubles getting no power in here because I kept reading 12 volts here, but it kept every once in a while hitting me with a 6 volt real quick, and then I touched it for a second and then back to 12 volts. With all that being said, I know, kind of long-winded, I guess somewhere, somehow, the original starter wire that goes from the battery to the starter, I'm assuming, generally speaking, that there's a break in the wire somewhere, or there's a bunch of corrosion buildup, or just a simple fact of how it was done on the battery terminal itself was not in a way that supplied, you know, proper connection for power. So now, as you see, I'll back up a little bit. Now, as you see, all brand new wire. I wrapped it with electrical tape because I didn't want them to touch. Not that it matters, but you know, whatever. Hammered the lugs. Got a welding cable, so it's solid ass wire. It runs down all the way around to the starter. Boom, nice and tucked away. Can't really notice it. And then I put a new lug on the end of the power wire that supplies the fuse box, which supplies the car. And I just 90 degreed them, made them a little uniform side, zip tied them, and then they go their separate ways from this point forward. So that's pretty cool. So far, everything seems to work, no issue. And I also removed the bracket that goes here because it's just this bracket and it looks kind of ugly. This car still has it, as you can see. There's a bunch of stuff that goes there, and it doesn't really need to go there. So as I'm working on this car for you guys, who's gonna be participating in this at some point, soon, hopefully. I want to kind of eliminate a couple things, trim a couple things down. We're still going to keep everything, right? AC still works, by the way. I'm going to knock on wood because I said that. And this is, I don't know why, but the AC is actually pretty cold considering I don't think that my silver car's AC is anywhere near this cold, which is wild. So it actually seems to work pretty well. We'll talk more about that. But I kind of wanted to, you know, push some of the harnessing down, less up and all this extra busyness, you know, that the eye catches. If I can reduce a little of the busyness and tuck a couple wires down, still make them accessible, I think that's kind of a win-win for everybody, you know what I'm saying? Also, fun story, this intake is actually the original intake my silver Civic came with, and that's the throttle body, also off my silver Civic. So I had to use I just used this piece. I stole this air filter from the GSR car, that's why there's no intake on that anymore. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty tight. Now, quick off note, whatever you want to call it. This intake is probably going to be the best intake for this just because of the length, size, everything else. Give it a good overall feel. I have been considering putting the carbon intake on there, but the problem with these is they look sick, right? But they make no power. Like, I think the factory airbox almost makes more power than those things do. Those things are better for on and off throttle, hard, short bursts for, you know, track racing and stuff. So where you're not looking for power, you're looking for hit and response and stuff like that. The response on those is great, but the power is low, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, do we keep this intake that'll actually make more power, or do we go with the intake that looks cool that makes less power? You know what I mean? So that's kind of where we're at, all this stuff. So new wire, new starter. So far, clicking on the key like she's supposed to, you know what I'm saying? You already saw I took the whole shit apart, stole it out of this car, and I was stealing out of everything, you know what I'm saying? Put it all back together. She's all working like normal in the key like she's supposed to, which is fantastic if you ask me. I actually drove this car around. In the video you saw me drive it, see some little VTEC. This car still has more time left in me dialing it in, figuring out the issues with it, stuff like that. If you notice in the video, the gauge cluster has a check engine light on, and there's a couple sensors I think that are unplugged somewhere. I don't know if the O2 sensor is plugged in. I gotta check that. If it's not, I have to buy an O2 sensor. Things like that, you know what I'm saying? The OBD2 motors have two O2 sensors in them, one pre-cat, one post-cat typically. And to be fair, it's kind of expensive. And a lot of times when you have these headers, they only have one location for one O2 sensor, not two of them. And if you have the same reading on the header in the front and in the back of the header, the car is just like, yo, like, we got a problem here. So we'll throw the check engine light anyway. You have to kind of trick the secondary O2 sensor into reading, you know, what it needs to read. And to be honest, now that I'm looking at it, the O2 sensor ain't got no plug on that thing. It's hanging right there. So we're gonna have to buy an O2 sensor to start with. In the video, you watch me get after the car a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I did notice the car does smoke a little bit. When I first started hitting VTEC in it and actually driving it, it smoked a lot, like a whole lot. And I'm like, holy shit. Acceleration, I see tons of smoke behind me. Decel, there's smoke behind me, and I'm like, fuck. Valve seats, maybe the rings, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, here we go. My JDM motor, I can't believe this is done already. Then I forget also that, like, this car had a different motor in it prior. That engine had a different life. So there could be oil in the exhaust, and this motor might have not been run for a while. You know what I mean? Like, so there's like a bunch of things. But as I kept running the motor more and more and more, it smokes less. You know what I'm saying? So it might be safe, it might not be safe. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you, but we're gonna find out together, you know what I'm saying? But it's really strange that in the video it's not gonna come across as well, but the VTEC in this motor hits like a B series. Now, I don't know if the engine part of that, I don't know if part of that is because maybe with the check engine light on, the timing for the engine is being held back drastically through the normal RPM band, and then during VTEC, it gives you all of everything it's supposed to give you. So in that process, you go from like 20 horsepower to like 130 all at once, and you go, oh wow, that shit's popping, you know what I mean? I do know that the VTEC crossover is very loud in this motor, which is crazy. And then also, you know, as you can see if you pay attention to the video, go back if you don't notice it, during VTEC, this thing speeds up like crazy. So if I can get this motor dialed in to where off VTEC it rocks, and then in VTEC it just keeps on rocking, I think we got ourselves a fucking winner here. You know what I'm saying? It is on a factory computer. I did think about putting a chip computer in here just to kind of see if it changes anything with the motor, which I will do that at some point. I'll probably pull the computer out of one of my other cars just to see necessarily if it changes, if the car starts to run fucking gangster, then I might have to put a chip computer in here. But a factory computer is nice too, because you can still run the OBD2 codes. When you run a chip computer, you have to go OBD1, can't run codes anymore, stuff like that. So we'll see kind of how that goes. But overall, car drove pretty good. Drove it on the highway. I probably drove it the other day, I don't know, probably like 30, 40 miles roughly. You know what I'm saying, for the day. And beat on it, drove on it. Feels good. There's still the hiccuping of the idle going up and down constantly. And that's part of what led me to do the cardboard for the gasket for the idle air control valve. Now, originally on the motor, the original throttle body, which is over here, this throttle body is a certain throttle body, and this is the idle air control valve here. And that's for the single cam motors where the throttle body sits like this on top. When you have the VTEC motors, which is this one, that all the control valves in the intake manifold. So we don't need that throttle body. This is my B16 throttle body, which is a dual cam motor, still bolts on the same. I think it's a little bit larger too, which is kind of cool. So that bolts on, and we get a little bit more, and eliminates that whole throttle body bullshit that's got going on. So that's pretty cool. But I'm pretty sure there's a vacuum leak somewhere, and the problem is I can't find where. So I've already off camera took these two vacuum sources, pulled them off, plugged them, looped them shut, and it still does the same thing. Maybe got like a touch better, but not really. This, I have not blocked this off yet, but I'm gonna get a cap for this, try to block this off, see how that goes. And then if those things aren't it, then there's a good chance that the intake manifold gasket may have a leak in it. I tried doing a couple tests on it to see what happens, and I didn't get any results out of it. So essentially, at this point in time, I'm not sure, you know what I'm saying? Because the way I have this motor set up, this thing should idle at 500 RPM, like, you know what I mean? Like, everything's super closed. So it's still a work in progress, you know what I'm saying? I gotta find it. Plus, if I have to buy an intake gasket, you know, I'll get a performance one, of course. Not gonna put a factory one back in there usually. Performance one's like 30 bucks, or cheap, you know what I mean? So toss one of those in there, fire it up, see how it goes. But if it's not the intake gasket, I don't want to put it on there. So, you know, gotta chase around a couple more things, see how that goes, you know what I'm saying? But here at the end of this video, not the end of this video, the next thing I'm about to work on my silver car, and we're gonna get deep, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get real deep, so always stick around, you heard?
Collie Grove. Checkerboard luggage, Raymond in the cupboard. I left Art Bowser with a sculpture. You're listening to the lyrical nunchuck, chuckle at dumb fucks, vocals warmed up, beyond Ford tough. I kept my lawn cut, this felon conduct. I got my arm out the window of an armed truck. This Teamsters Union when you hear the trucks roll up. On Cleveland Avenue, made plays at the Kroger. Came up on cold cuts, heart got a hole in it. Bank got a roll in it. The Cessna citation came with a pole in it. The coloring so big it need a stove in it. Now that's deep, I just dove in it. The closet came with garage doors. The go yard is on all fours. I do this shit for encores. I did this shit in Tom Ford, they said I'm wrong for it. I'm
so fly, I looked at her and said, get on board. It's the man, it's the myth, in the midst of the mix with the M's on my mind. And Maui taking pics, motivated by more. That mean I want more of this, I want more jewelry, more cars, I want more cribs. What you expect from a kid that grew up with his stomach touching his rib, echoes coming from out the fridge. Now Papa was a Rolling Stone, I thought you knew that. Don't smoke no cig, but I shoot that, true fact.
Oh man, my lighter Saint Laurent. Yeah, that's Saint Laurent for you. You gotta hold your hand mid there when you do a verse like that. Yeah.
Hopping out a slide out, running through a walk-through, coupe on big wheels like a pony wearing horseshoes. Tall money, short fuse, long money, long ooh. Champagne poppy part 2, she my corkscrew. Tattoos over wall wounds, wrist look like it's on Zoom, neck look like anime or cartoons. Art to 'em. I got the spikes on the Gucci, look like Bart to 'em. Give me the Nikes, let me add some Comme des Garçons to 'em. Stuntman, verses in my lunch bag, rappers on my launch pad. Chopper make 'em do the crisscross and make 'em jump dance. Lump sum, lump bands. What's a young man without a check? Just a jump man. Fuck that, Jordan mean. I'ma sip some lean, get a ting and go quarantine. I'ma get some bling, let it bling like some oil sheen. I'ma put some fucking princess cuts on the queen. And I keep all of the chin check stubs I redeem. This our team, my regime. I'm a higher being. Purple smoke, fire green, sweet and sour cream. Peaking higher, now we towering. Peak position, give my people power. Now we power fiends. It's addiction, feeling like a boxer stepping out the ring. You swing, you miss it. Critically thinking about the critics.
Oh Lord, let me tell you something. This is where we're at right now. You know what I mean? And I ain't gonna front. I forgot how much work it is to pull a motor out of the Honda when it has everything. I'm used to, like this car, right? This car, you gut it. You know what I mean? Damn it. You eliminate majority of the shit in here. It's really simplified. There's almost nothing. It's very simple. To pull the motor in this car probably take half hour. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a lot simpler. Forget how much effort it takes when this car has everything in it. Like, I have the full AC and I got the lines going over here. You know what I'm saying? There's like all the shit that's in here. Everything attached to the motor. I still have the AC bracket still stuck in here. Like, all these little things just add up. In the beginning of the video, you didn't get to see it, but I actually deleted the footage a little bit. But pulling the axle for this, breaking the axle nut loose just for this side, I ended up snapping. I snapped the breaker bar. And I snapped a couple fittings first, and I was kind of expecting that to happen. And then I snapped the breaker bar end. No end. And if you look real close, it's got a banana shape to it now. So there was a lot of torque on that fucking 132 millimeter lug. I mean that nut, right? So that shit's crazy. But long story short, and a short story long, this is where we're at now, right? Pulled the motor, I have extra shit, just, you know what I'm saying, all this extra special stuff. Okay, boom, whatever. This motor, I'm going to pull the head off as close to in one motion, one assembly as I possibly can. So we're gonna pull that whole thing off. I'm gonna take the entire engine harness off of this motor, because I gotta still pull the motor out of that car, and this motor is gonna go in here. After I refresh the pieces on that thing, we're gonna put it in here. Boom, boom, 2 booms right there, right? But yeah, basically whenever you do a motor swap in a Honda like this, you have an option, up or down, right? Sounds dumb, but some cars you can't go down. If you have a lift, going down is way easier, and that's typically how I've always done Hondas, right? There are times where this hoist may not lift high enough. So what you do is it sucks to do, of course, but what you do is you take out the wheels, you know, the axle, all your bullshit, and you'll actually put this motor and the whole chassis on the floor, and then you'll change the chassis and lift the chassis up over the engine, right? That way you can tilt the motor forward and pull it out from underneath. Boom, there it is. So we got a lot of tools absolutely everywhere. It's a huge mess, and I forget how many tools I need. I ain't gonna front. What's wild is it'll take me less time pulling the motor in the S13 than it did the Civic. And it's like, it'll take you longer to fight shimmying the engine and transmission out of the S13 than it is to like do the labor to get like all this shit off the motor, you know what I'm saying? Also, given there's a lot of simplified things on that chassis too, but regardless, you know what I'm saying? And no engine swap is complete without forgetting one bolt, and I ended up forgetting the one bolt I forgot ended up being the alternator bolt right here. There's this long cable, which is, right here. This guy right here. And I'm just sitting here, I keep seeing this cable back there. I'm like, man, what the fuck is this cable go to? It makes no sense back here. You know what I'm saying? Boom, whatever. Turns out it makes perfect sense because that cable goes to the charging harness for the, you know, fuse box and shit for the alternator. So it's like, oh, okay, now I get it, right? With all that being said, feel me? We out here in them streets. But it's really cool now that I have all this stuff out. I'm finding a couple things. My engine mount, which is over here, needs to be replaced. And then I forgot, you know, I thought I could get away with just undoing the back bracket on this motor, but I had to end up pulling out the whole engine mount with it to get enough room to move the bracket to get the bracket out. Technically, if I didn't run the heater in the car still, and I removed that, then you could just unbolt the bracket and lift the motor out, and it'll just clear for the most part. You gotta watch out for the firewall and stuff. But like, that's the kind of things I'm talking about. And you still have everything in the chassis still. All these things add up, piece by piece by piece by piece by piece. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now that we're in this position, I'm gonna be able to pressure wash the bay again, because it's dirty, it's nasty. I don't like it. I cannot stand it. I'm gonna replace all the hoses that I can. I may replace the master or the Integra master because it's bigger. We'll see. We'll see how, you know, budget dependent. Budget's pretty low, to be honest with you. And I'll probably just leave that exactly the way it is. Boom, whatever. Maybe I have to change it in the future. But it's crazy because I have so many bolts, right? So many bolts, so many tools, so many little these, little those. And I'm just like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much shit. So with all this being said here, I might try to figure out more ways to further slim down what I have here in the bay, right? Like, for example, I think it's stupid. This plugs in here and it runs all the way over here and then into the firewall, connects to the computer and the chassis, whatever. It's just like, why is that even out here in the engine bay? Just stick it in there. So if I can put that inside the dashboard underneath the dash and run that whole cable inside, I'm gonna do that. But if I can't, then, you know, whatever, that's what it is. But there's like little junctions like this, you know what I'm saying? Like the one over here. So like, there's a few junctions, little this, little that, boom, whatever. If I can, you know, tuck a couple things together and make it look a little bit nicer, you know, rerun the lines, reroute them a little bit, because there's plenty of room for the wiring and stuff like that. The goal is to simplify the bay in any way that I can without going overboard. I still need to be able to have access to everything. This car is still a daily driver, you know what I'm saying? So I still need to be able to fix, repair, work on the car as normal, you know, the typical bullshit. But of course, as we go on, you know what I'm saying? Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Right here, right now. Your boy wants to paint this engine bay. And the problem is, I have a color in mind that I wanted to go with, and it's the old Brembo Gold. I wanna actually paint the whole car this color. But more recently, I thought about painting the engine bay black instead. And the reason for this is because, oh, I don't have that car anymore. Okay, the reason for that is I want the engine bay black, you know, still shiny, still looks good, but I like the idea of the engine bay being dark, kind of hides everything, because you'll have a harder time seeing, like, you know, wires and cables and stuff like this, and, you know, it kind of hides a lot of the bullshit, right? My idea is if I paint this all black, gloss black, and then the engine is bright, shiny, clean, the engine will stand out more. So when you open the hood, your eye is naturally not drawn to the bay, it's drawn to the engine, right? That's kind of what I'm hoping for. And don't get me wrong, a valve cover with, you know, the shit peeling everywhere, not appealing. I get it. But here's my problem. I like painted valve covers. How's the cat hair? But I also like the original shit. So, like, man, like, I don't know, like, this valve cover is gonna stay on this motor, no doubt. I'm gonna still use this shit here. But with that being said, we gonna leave this one here, and I still have another one here. And I was gonna rock the yellow joint, but to be real, I think instead what I'm gonna end up doing is yellow joint, paint stripper, get all that shit off of it, and then I'll probably paint that valve cover the same as whatever the chassis gets painted, Rainbow Gold. It's gonna be very dependent on brand of product because it's extremely expensive. There's a cheaper version out there, which I wouldn't mind painting the engine bay the cheaper stuff because that doesn't bother me. But if I paint the engine bay gloss black, then I gotta worry about it. But if I paint the car, I don't wanna paint the car with cheap paint. I worked in the industry, you know, automotive restoration industry for a very, very long time, and the standards of vehicles we did is extremely high. So unfortunately, I can no longer just sit there and be like, yeah, man, cheap paint's fine, you know, shiny, color, cool. I just can't. I gotta have a color that stands the test of time, that looks really good, you know what I'm saying, like, that works. This is an example of cheap paint. Don't get me wrong, this poor girl has been sitting outside straight cooking in the Florida sun for 13 years, through the hurricanes, through the bullshit, through everything, and I get it. And my prep work probably wasn't that good, and I get it, and I get it, and I get it. However, this is still faded, and this was repainted, right? So, like, that car's paint looks better than this car's paint, and that paint is from 1996, and this one was done in 2000 and probably 8, maybe 7, something like that. I get it, it's been a long time. At the same time, factory paint jobs be lasting a long ass fucking time. That didn't last that long, you know, in comparison, right? So, like I said, I've also been used to seeing high quality paint jobs, and as somebody that spends a lot of time in prep work, you want the best result you can possibly get. And when you spend the money on paint materials that are expensive, it's not the immediate result, it's the result 5, 10, 15 years from now, right? You have a higher quality paint, that means the repairability is better. You ever watch someone's car get painted? Get it painted some metallic color, and then a couple of years later, the metallic don't hit hard, it's kind of faded looking, the color itself's kind of faded, not the clear coat per se. The color dulls out and shit like that. That's what I'm talking about. When you buy cheaper paints, things like that kind of happen, and that's what I don't want, especially because, like, this car essentially will be outside a lot, even though I'll probably keep it inside as much as I can. This car will spend most of its time outside, so I'd rather have a paint that has good UV protection, a paint that has, you know, good repairability, and if I have to blend or if I have to fix with clear coat, high-end clear coat, it's also very important, you know what I mean? So these are the dilemmas I'm dealing with. Also, this car, I want to convert the front end from 96, 98 to 2000, which 2000 front end is what that car has, and this car has. If you don't know Hondas, I'm gonna give you about as simple as it can get. 99 2000, the headlight shape different, the grill opening is larger, the hood has a slightly different shape, and the bumper has little mouth and then this little pocket here, that pocket there. 97 has the one big guy and the grill is a little bit smaller. That's about, there's other, how do you put it? There's other variations for that. Hatchback, you know, stuff like that. 99 2000 cars got red and clear. And then the old 96 to 98s had the red, clear, orange. But these are pretty cool taillights too. But it's just like, I'm gonna convert this car to 2000 front end swap. I'm gonna convert the whole shit. So I'm gonna pull taillights off of this car to do that. So it's gonna get like a little facelift, a little update, because I want the car to be tight. Now, I'm not gonna paint the car right away. My original idea was like, oh, I'll just pull the motor out, I'll paint the car and the bay, and I'll paint everything all at once. But to be fair, I don't really have that option at this moment in time right now. You know what I'm saying? So I think getting paint in the bay, putting a new swap in here, getting that swap looking good, cleaned up, not fucking leaking oil. God, man, I can't stand that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I pressure wash this shit, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't stand this shit. So back in the day when I did this car, no oil leaks. You know what I'm saying? I try to be away from oil leaks and shit as much as possible. I want things to look clean, look nice, presentable. You know what I'm saying? I hate touching grease, grime, dirt. See what I'm saying? Like, that shit nasty, dog. And not to mention, any oil that leaks here in the front where the radiator and the fan is, the fan just pushes it this way, right? And then any oil that leaks in the front here as you're driving by, the wind pushes it this way. So you just get nasty shit and the whole fucking thing's nasty and like you can't touch nothing. I can't stand that. I fucking hate it, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, kind of crazy. I never wanted to pull this, let me rephrase this. This motor leaked from every seal, every gasket, every orifice. Leaked everywhere, it leaks everywhere, everything. It drives me fucking crazy. But I never wanted to pull this motor just yet. I still wanted to hit certain goals with this engine first before I ended up pulling it. But, you know, time's not on my side on the rings, so it's kind of is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video a little bit. Hopefully I didn't leave anything out, because as I work on everything, I tend to forget all the things that I've done. So I end up leaving shit out. So like if I forget something, type it in the comments, let your boy know what's going on. You know what I'm saying, shorty? So I'll be like, yo, what about this? Boom, what about that? Or if you have a suggestion, holler at your boy. You know what I'm saying? As of right now, oh, I forgot, I want to tell you guys a secret. Not an actual secret, but I don't like red cars. I don't like silver cars. In my life, I have owned the most of red and silver. Now, to give you an example, my very first Honda Civic, my very first car, was a silver Civic hatchback. That car got crashed, and I got a red one, right? So this car was my second first car, right? Red, fucking red. Painted it blue. Blue's not my thing. Boom. Years go by. I ended up acquiring another Civic hatchback. It was red. Go figure. That one I sold to my boy. That car's now painted championship white. Car looks sick. If I can remember to throw a picture of it in here, I will. You know what I'm saying? That car was red. I didn't want to build a Honda Civic, so I sold it to him knowing that it was a pretty good car. I just didn't want to fuck with it, didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to jump back in the Honda game because I was still focused on, I think I had like my black S13 and I wanted to do shit to that. I forget if I had this at that time. I don't think that I did. I forget what other cars I had at that time. But I didn't want to get involved in that because I knew it'd be a rabbit hole. I knew I'd love the car. I knew I'd start getting crazy, you know what I'm saying? So I just avoided that whole thing altogether. Although to be fair, had I gotten into it then, I probably would have paid cheaper prices for a lot of shit than today, right? So anyways, we got rid of that red Civic. Then a few years later, down the road, I ended up purchasing another red hatchback because I wanted an automatic car that I could use as a truck for my truck. So my dually gets 10 miles a gallon. I'm like, man, I need something else that'll get good gas mileage, drive around well. Well, I love the Hondas, but I purposefully bought an automatic one I tinted all the windows 5%, windshield 30%, car super dark, AC, power steering, super slow car. Ran pretty good. Transmission still at work because the old Hondas are notorious. The transmission has stopped working after so many years of service, right? And you know, low maintenance, etc., etc. So that car rocked that shit. Ended up selling that car for another car. Sold that car to get the trailer that I have now. And then after that whole debacle, I realized that I really needed another Honda Civic again. Went on a whole spree, a whole shaboodle, whatever the case is. Bought that Civic. That one's red technically originally. So there's that. How many red Honda Civic hatchbacks is that? A lot. You know what I mean? So it's like there's 3 red hatches right here, plus the other 2 from before. So that's what, 5 red hatches. And those are just the EK hatches I've had. I've had other Hondas too. And this is my second silver Civic. So we're in an odd state in my life where the ones I don't like the most end up becoming what I own the most, right? Silver truck, I would love if that fucker was black. We're gonna get there one day, don't worry, it's coming. But it looks good silver now, you know, it's not a bad color, boom. At least it's not that pewter color that Chevys have. I really don't like that color. But yeah, that's kind of a weird secret, a fact, or whatever you wanna call it. I've owned a shitload of red Honda Civics and a few silver ones too. So yeah, kind of a weird shit, but let's see where the things take us, you know what I'm saying? This car in terms of, I know I'm talking for a while, but this car in terms of work being done even before paint, we're still not done. There's a couple suspension things I got to do this car still, which actually involve that car there. That car has a few components on it I need. And then I got to do a whole shuffleboard, a whole, I don't know what you want to call it, but I got to take some of the things off of there. It's going to go on this car. Anything upgradable on this car is going to go on this car. I think I'm okay for the most part, you know what I mean? I don't remember exactly, but everything seems to be working. I would like to upgrade the control arms and a few other things. So I may try to reach out to a few companies and see if I can just kind of upgrade a bunch of things all at one time. And if I can, cool. And if not, you know, so be it, whatever, right? So right now we end up, again, man, another Honda extravaganza. It's so fucking crazy. But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of a cool secret, you know, about the Honda and shit. But as far as this goes, the waffle car, I'm gonna be trying to drive that car frequently, as frequently as I can. Find out bugs, find out kinks, you know, get it fixed, get it going, pick up this, pick up that. Right now, I think that car needs a throttle position sensor, and it needs to be driven. You know what I mean? So oil change, TPS, what else? A couple things here and there, you know what I'm saying? So like, it needs some stuff. So the motor runs good. The VTEC pops hard in that car. I'm definitely impressed with it. So far, so good. I'm gonna put some good oil in it, put that thick syrup in that thing, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna do that because whoever ends up getting the car in the future, I want them to be able to beat on the car to their heart's content. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, it's still a car, it's 30 years old, so there's, you know, if you damage a car, it comes with the territory. But this car is turning out to be a really special car. And it's crazy because, like, I didn't buy it for the intention of any of those things whatsoever. I bought it originally because I was gonna drive that car. And then this car popped up on the marketplace, and I ended up buying that one because that's actually the car I wanted. Long story short, short story long, you know what I'm saying? So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you can hear me over this fan. It's probably like 10,000 degrees inside the building. I'm trying not to sweat and look crazy while I'm talking at the same time, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, hopefully this whole time the audio has been good, and if not, you know, it is what it is, right? Stay tuned for more, find out more, you know what I'm saying? This video, as we speak, today is Thursday, and I know I drop videos every Thursday, but it takes me several hours to edit, even though it seems kind of simple. So if I'm lucky, you guys will actually get this video today, you know what I'm saying? Originally pulling this motor, I stopped last night before I pulled it because it was getting late. And it's like, oh, it's like, what, do you gotta go to bed, Grandpa? It's like, no, actually, right around the dusk time, right, is when all the horseflies and mosquitoes come out, and you spend more time smacking your arms and legs and neck and face than you do actually wrenching. So, like, it gets to be really annoying when all you're doing is smacking your fucking body constantly, and you're just like, all right, man, like, you know what I'm saying? I got some gnarly horseflies, too. So, stick around, check it out, and remember in life, always stay sucker free.